Hi, this is Mr. Orr. This is lesson 4 of using the TI-83 and 84 graphing calculators. Today we're going to be looking at an introduction to graphing. This, of course, being a key function of a graphing calculator. So we're going to start very simply with a linear equation and see how the calculator will graph it. So I'm going to go up here to y equals. Now you can see that we have a number of opportunities to place equations here. We're only going to start with just one equation, and I'll make it very simple. Again, it's going to be y equals 3x, I go up here for x, minus 2. And I enter that. Then I go over here to the graph. And watch carefully, because here comes the line. The line is, pardon me, the line is just what we would expect. The y-intercept is -2, and if I go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, I have arrived at another point on the line. The slope is 3 over 2. Now, we can see right here that the y-intercept is -2. That is the point 0, -2. What we cannot tell is the exact coordinates of this location where the graph crosses the x-axis, and we'd like to find out. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to second calculate, which is above the trace. So I hit the trace button and I get some options here. I'm going to scroll down to the second one, which is 0. And what that means is I am looking for a 0 of this equation. That is a crossing of an axis. When I hit enter, I go back to the graph, and you will see that it found the first 0, which is the location of the graph crossing the y-axis. It says right here. Now, what it tells me is left boundary x equals 0. At that point, y equals -2. You'll see what that means in just a moment. I'm going to move that left boundary now. I'm going to move it up, and you'll see these numbers down here changing as I move it, because it's finding for wherever I am with the x-axis, it's locating where I am with the y-axis at that particular point. But I'm going to move it up here until I get close to the x-axis on the line. And there I'm going to hit enter. So it asked me for left boundary, and I gave that to it. The left boundary is that I want to use is right there. Now, I hit enter, and now I'm going to continue moving it, because you can see down here it says right boundary. I want the right boundary to be to the right of the intersection. So I want to go up to about there and hit enter. All right, now you see these two lines right here, these two dotted lines. That's the boundary that I'm looking at. And you can see that the point of intersection of the line with the x-axis is between the two dotted lines. Now, it says guess question mark. And yes, I want the calculator to guess, and you would think it could do a little better than guessing, but I would like it to guess at what the point is of intersection, the line with the x-axis. So I'm going to hit enter. And what it's done is to tell me that the point of intersection is a value x equals 0.666, that's 2/3. And y equals 0. X equals 2/3, y equals 0. So if y equals 0, what I have found here is the x-intercept of this line. That is, where does it cross the x-axis? All right. Now, I think we will leave it at that for this lesson. That's a very important. Let's do this. Let's go back and graph one more line just for fun here. So I'm going to clear that line out. I hit clear. Let's put in a different line. Let's see if we can put in -0.5, so -0.5 x plus 4. All right. I'm going to enter that, and then I'm going to graph it. And there you can see what I have. Now, notice that the graph goes off the chart over here, off the screen, before I get to the x-axis. Well, that isn't exactly what I want, because I'd like to see where it crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to change the format of the graph here. Instead of going out 5 grid lines and over 5 this way and up 5 and down 5, because it's very much restricted my view of the coordinate plane, I would like to show a bit more of that coordinate plane. The standard format is out 10 in both directions and up 10, down 10, both directions. So let's go to Zoom. And I'm going down here to Zoom Standard, Z Standard, which is number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I will hit Enter. Now you're going to see that it goes out 10, and that's very helpful, because I'm still not absolutely sure that it's crossing where the grid lines cross right here, but at least I can tell that it does cross within my screen, and that's quite useful. What I've lost in clarity, because I now have 10 grid lines to look at instead of 5, I've gained in terms of where my graph goes, and I can see it going there. So once again, if I wanted to find out what that intercept is out there, I could go to Second, Calculate, down to 0. So I find one of the zeros, and I hit OK. Now, this tells me the left boundary. So this tells me when x is 0, y is 4. Well, that's what I plugged in, was a y-intercept of 4 when I wrote the equation. What I don't know yet is out here. So let's go out until we get to a left boundary that looks reasonable to us. So I'm going out quite a ways here, and I'm going to go out until I get close to the x-axis at that point of intersection. And I think that's good enough right there. So I'm going to hit Enter. Now it asks for right boundary, and I'm going to go past that point of intersection, and that's going to take me out. It's a little hard to tell here, but I think I'm past it now. So I'm going to go Enter again. This time I have a somewhat broader range in here, because it was harder for me to tell exactly where that line crosses. And let's see how we did. It says guess, and yes, I would like to take a guess, and that worked. It's given me y is 0 and x is 8. So the x-intercept is 8, and we already knew the y-intercept was 4. All right, this concludes today's lesson. We will do more graphing in the future, but I think that's sufficient for today's first look at using the graphing functions on the calculator.